Hello, everybody. Welcome.
Hello.
Welcome to Film Juice. We're back from our little break. We hope you had a good Thanksgiving. I'm Andrew Canada.
And I'm Joe Dorado.
What do we got on the take today, Joe?
Oh, first movie of the day is the new Fantastic Beasts movie, Crimes of Grindelwald.
Yep. So this movie is the sequel to the other Fantastic Beasts film. It still follows Newt Scamander, and it continues on with the big revelation from the last movie, which was that Grindelwald is here, and he's ready to mess some stuff up in the wizarding world.
Yeah.
He's a dark wizard. He's on the loose. So this one is more of Grindelwald gaining power, really. This is more focused on his rise to power, and then Newt somewhat unwillingly gets roped into also trying to stop him, kind of. And there's a lot of stuff, again, with Ezra Miller's character, Credence, still trying to figure out what's going on with him. Obviously, he's an obscurus from the last movie, so it made for an interesting one. Yeah,
it was an interesting... It was a very interesting movie. I didn't really know where they were going to go with this movie because the last one, they left on a note where it made it seem like you weren't going to see the characters again. Like, the next movie would be different characters other than Grindelwald and a few other ones. Like, they were going to... Right. Like, it didn't seem like Newt was going to come back. It didn't seem like... It seemed
not necessarily.
It seemed like Fantastic Beasts was going to be its own not standalone, but like... It could be its own standalone thing. It was just like a
bridge to, bring into this stuff.
And then the next one was going to be even another thing with new characters.
Right. Its own thing. But they did soon after the release of the first one, though, they did say, like, we're just going to keep this going.
Yeah, but it was very weird because this movie, I feel like they made this they did things in this movie that they didn't plan on doing. And for example, I don't think they expected to bring back all of the characters in this movie when they made the last movie, if that makes sense. Because they do stuff in the last movie that is completely contradicted in this movie.
Certainly, particularly with the character Jacob, played by Dan Fogler.
And that bothered me a lot.
That's really the one.
That was the one that bothered me so much because it was so obvious that like they brought him back for like only the reason that people liked him in the first movie. Like he did,
well, and not necessarily. But I think that they just wanted to do more with Queenie. Because obviously he plays such a key role in her development in this movie, but she develops a lot more than some characters.
Yeah, and I get that, but the thing with me is like, he forgot everything in the first movie, and then he's like, oh, I only forgot the bad stuff. It's like, but you forgot in the first movie, so it doesn't make sense. It bothered me.
I mean, I feel like they do an okay job of covering that. Not a great job, but they do all they need to do, I think. I'm just gonna say I guess I'll start with what I liked about this movie. Okay.
I thought Grindelwald was good. Yeah. There's a lot of controversy with Johnny Depp being in this movie, but I overall still think that he was the most interesting character in the movie. I thought every time he was on screen, I enjoyed myself the most every time he was on screen.
He played it exceptionally well. Yeah. No doubt about that.
Yeah, so I thought that was really, I thought he was really great. I also thought Credence was good. I like Ezra Miller's character. I think he's a very interesting character.
Definitely. I think that they really, because in the first one, you know, obviously there was a little twist with him, and I thought that was, I thought his character was okay. I thought he was more just to serve
in the first movie.
Point of like a plot point.
Yes.
But this he really expands in an interesting way, and I liked it.
I also liked Dumbledore. I thought the new, I liked him a lot.
Young Dumbledore.
Yeah, I thought he was really good. But my main issue with those characters is I think they get the least amount of screen time, and I think the movie would have been a lot better if they were in it more.
Right, maybe, but
and they weren't in it as
I mean,
much
the title of the
as-
movie is Fantastic Beasts.
I know, and that's my main issue with it.
Is that you think they should have just made a whole separate thing?
Yes, I think it was very unfocused with Newt and Tina and Jacob. I think their whole storyline in this movie was very unfocused, and I didn't feel compelled by their story at all. Like I didn't like it. Like a lot of their story was just a romance, and I didn't like it. Like I didn't buy it at all, and I don't think it served. I don't think it served much. And that's, anyways. But
I get that. I mean, I think they just wanted to add another element to the movie.
But it wasn't good.
It wasn't great, but I really liked just the character of Newt Scamander and seeing him.
I think
more
he's
in
good.
This.
Yeah.
Like I thought that we saw a lot more of who his character really is.
I agree with
and a
you.
lot of credit I think goes. Eddie Redmayne could not have played this better.
He's
obviously
the
he's a strange kind of guy. He's a little quirky, but phenomenal.
He was definitely the best recurring character.
No doubt. Oh, no doubt about it. Which, as he should be, because he is, of course, the main focus.
Yes.
One thing that I liked about this movie, what we were just talking about, the title is Fantastic Beasts, but it is The Crimes of Grindelwald, which is something that, you know, from reading the books, fans know a lot about Grindelwald and Dumbledore and stuff. What I liked was that while obviously this movie expands the universe exponentially, they still managed to keep some focus on magical creatures. Yeah. Not as much as the first one, obviously. No. But they still, I think they integrated them into the storyline well. So I appreciated that. Yeah. That it was still Fantastic Beasts.
Yes, and that is really cool. And there's a scene specifically that I think works really well with that. I also wanted to bring up another thing I liked. I thought the action scenes in this movie were cool. They were pretty cool. They worked. But my main issue with this movie is I didn't think it really had a very strong plot, like at all, other than the parts with Grindelwald. I don't think the plot was strong enough with the main characters. I didn't think it was necessary, and it led to a lot of slow pacing. Okay. And it was very boring when the main stuff wasn't happening, and the main stuff was not happening as often as it should.
But this was a segue movie. Like, that's all this picture was about.
That's not a good excuse. Like, it should be a good movie still.
Right, and I think it was acceptable with what it sets up. The next couple movies in this franchise are going to be really cool.
I know that. Like, what it sets up is good, but I don't agree that it should just serve as a setup movie. I don't think, especially like for a
Harry. You know what? I disagree because I like it. I like how it is. I like how it's a segue because if we just went into that stuff, it might just feel rushed.
No, I know that, but I feel like a Harry Potter movie like has standards, and this movie did not live up to the Harry Potter standards. This is like it just didn't. It did not live up to the standards that I am used to with a Harry Potter movie, and it's not what you expect when going into it. Right. There was so much. I felt like this movie was made like just to make money and to fill in the gap for the next one. Yeah. And it was just fan service. The whole movie was just fan service. Okay. But it wasn't. That's not a movie. There was no plot. It was only fan service, and that's not enough for a good movie. It was just like, look, oh, Nagini's here. And Nagini was such a bland character to begin with that I don't think they needed to give backstory to.
We'll have to see what more happens there. I found that interesting.
I just thought that whole thing was very sloppy. But anyways, the last thing I want to say the last thing I want to say.
Yeah, no, go for it.
I feel like this movie should have been The Last Jedi of the series, but instead it was the Clone Wars. That's how I feel. That's exactly how I feel.
Huh. Like I definitely wouldn't go that far.
I don't think it was as bad as the Clone Wars, but the romance part and the plot parts, like that's how I feel about it. But anyways, that's my stance on it. Okay. So what would you rate this movie?
I'm gonna give it 7.5.
7.5.
Yeah, because I enjoyed it, and it's Fantastic Beasts. It's not a Harry Potter movie. It's just a Wizarding World movie.
I guess that's a fair point. I'm gonna give it a 6.5. I thought it was good. I did enjoy myself. It did not live up to my expectations. So, yeah.
All right, everybody. We are going to be right back. We're going to be talking about Creed 2. You don't want to miss it.
Put the keys down, Kevin.
But I'm gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
I guess I have really been looking for love in this dating app. Yep, I'm definitely gonna call a ride home.
Because of you, I feel not alone in this world. And you let me know that it only takes one person to make you feel wanted.
I already knew that I was gonna go to college, you know, from a young age. I definitely want to major in political science, become the mayor or something, make the situation better for other people. My name is Justin, and I am your dividend.
You've messed up your son's haircut. Do you try to fix it? Work with what you've got? Or show solidarity?
Thank you, babe.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
Once there was a boy who did the same thing again and again. One day, he was told he had autism. He got help and slowly learned how to live with it better.
Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
We just finished dinner and it was time for homework. He hates homework. I know he's bright.
Why is it so hard for me?
He's just gotta try a little harder.
1 in 5 children struggle with learning and attention issues. Go from misunderstanding to understood.org.
Did you know dragging chains can spark a wildfire?
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Growing up where I did, a lot of things could have gotten in the way of my goals. But I learned to push through. And that's what I bring to work every day.
Hey everybody. Welcome back to Film Juice. We're ready to talk about our second movie this week, Creed 2.
Oh man.
The highly anticipated sequel, at least I was very excited for this movie.
Looking forward to this movie. The trailers alone for this movie were so good.
They were phenomenal.
Oh my god, I
remember
loved
you
them.
would send me like every new one.
They
that
were
came out. You're like,
so
you have to watch
good.
this. This is so cool.
They're
And
so
they
well
were really
done.
great trailers.
Yeah, so Creed 2. This is the sequel to the very critically acclaimed Creed, which was directed by Ryan Coogler. And it stars Adonis Creed, and it follows him. Now he's at the height of his career. He just has been the heavyweight champion, and now he has a new challenger who is Ivan Drago's son, and it's basically Ivan Drago's son. Ivan Drago's dad is the guy who killed. It's so confused.
Ivan Drago,
so
for those of you who don't know,
yes.
in Rocky IV, killed Apollo Creed,
yes.
father of
You're
Adonis Creed, in the ring.
Yes.
So now, Victor Drago
yes.
is being trained by his father to bring up their family's status once again to Russia. And that is something that this movie does so exceptionally because when we start on the Drago family.
Yeah.
So we don't start with our protagonist, which I found super
I thought
interesting.
that was cool.
And I thought that it made the juxtaposition stand out a lot more between the two characters.
I liked how much we got to see of the Dragos in this movie.
That was the
I liked
most
it a lot.
unexpected and pleasant surprise of the whole movie.
Yeah, it was good. They didn't show too much, but they showed a good amount of. I could have even
exactly what they
seen,
needed.
Yeah, I could have even seen a little bit more if they went for it. Like I would have been fine with a little bit more. It was just really they didn't make them the crazy bad guys, unstoppable villains. Like they tried to give them a story, and I thought it was really cool. So I liked that.
Yeah, absolutely. It was just great to see their perspective.
Yeah, exactly. And you don't really you don't sympathize with them too much, but like you do like see where they're coming.
You're still rooting for Creed, but there are times in the movie where, because like I said, it's from Drago's perspective, from the Drago family's perspective, it's all about bringing their family name out of the muck, so to speak, in the Russian community. So when we first are introduced to them, they've been kind of exiled in a way to the Ukraine.
Yeah.
And then as Victor, the son, starts to come up in the boxing world and challenge Creed and stuff like that, they kind of get their place back. And the whole
it was crazy.
What a phenomenal B story.
Yeah, it was a good B story.
Just amazing. Just amazing.
Yeah, it was really good. I liked it a lot. Yeah, it was really cool. I really liked the writing in this movie. That was something I really enjoyed. Sylvester Stallone wrote this movie.
Yes, with Jewel Taylor.
Yes. And I thought it was really well done. And I don't know, it felt natural. Like the dialogue felt natural. And I liked that. Like it didn't.
No doubt about it.
Especially when Rocky speaks, but that's because.
Right, you can really tell. Like you can tell through his performance that he co-wrote the movie just because of like. And I don't know, it makes it fun. Like just the way. It was fun, yeah. It's just like, I mean, this is like peak Rocky as far as, obviously he's not getting in the ring. He's an old man now, but just as far as like the things that he's saying and the way he talks, just perfect.
Exactly.
Peak Rocky.
And the thing about this movie is. In all the Rocky movies, for that matter, is they are formulaic, so you know what's going to happen. Yeah. But the big thing about this movie is it still finds a way to make it fun and interesting and give tension, even though you know what's going to happen, which is very, very hard to do, and I think is very, very well done in this movie.
Yeah.
I think that's like, I don't know, I think that's so hard to do when an audience member knows what's coming, but you still make it fun for them to watch. I think it's a really good thing.
That's such a testament to the people who made this movie.
Yes.
The other thing that I think we should touch on is, obviously, a Rocky movie, there's going to be a training montage.
Oh my God.
And it's so difficult to reimagine a training montage.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
There's 6 of them.
There's
7 of them.
There's just so many. I mean, across a plethora of movies.
Yep.
Right? And just to try and make that fresh is such a difficult task. So I was really curious to see how they did it in this one. Not bad.
Not bad. I personally thought this was one of the best training montages in the whole series.
Certainly, I mean, like if you look at the past couple, I mean, this is really sort of like the, I guess, I mean, and obviously the two movies are so closely related. This and Rocky IV, in a way, this is like this franchise's version of Rocky's training montage in that movie.
Yes, and it was so. This training montage. It literally picks up the movie so much.
Yeah.
Because the movie goes for a lull for a little bit. I think the pacing slows down in the second act considerably. It's not bad, but it slows down.
At the beginning, it like shoots way down.
Yes. So you get to this training montage and it picks right back up and it gets you so hyped up for the final act of the movie, and it's it works so well.
And it's a fairly long montage, but there's no point where you're waiting for it to be over.
Yep, and I think part of it is because of how good the music in this movie was. The music in this movie was so well done. Not like the soundtrack, the scoring, everything that had to do with the sound in this movie was awesome. I think it added so much to the movie, and I loved it. There's a part in the last fight of the movie, and I literally like cheered when something happened. Like it was so well done. But that was great. The performances were awesome. Michael B. Jordan kills it as always. Outstanding job. Outstanding. It was insane. I think he pulls more chops in this movie emotionally than he does in the last movie, honestly. But I think it was really.
Absolutely.
I thought it was.
I think he's. It shows that he's just more connected to the character now that he understands a little better through 2 movies.
Did you have any issues with this movie in particular? That, like, just in general.
Let's see. Any?
Because
Not any big ones.
I had two. They're not big, but I had two.
Right.
One, they had so much shaky cam in spots where they did not need it. And there were scenes where people are just talking.
No, I know,
normal,
but I
and
think,
it was like
right, and it was a little too shaky there. But I also think they were just going handheld in those scenes again for the point that I always like to give the actors room to explore the space.
It was just
maybe it was a little too
necessary
shaky, but
sometimes. And then the only other thing was I thought the directing was great. The fight scenes were great.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of credit to Steve Campbell.
It is very differently shot than the first movie, and I think in general, I just prefer the Ryan Coogler version of the fights more than this one, just because I don't think any fight in this movie beats the one take in the first movie.
As far as the way it's shot, probably not.
And so that's like, those are my two issues, but still great, a great sequel, and I was very happy with it.
Excellent. What would you rate it?
I'm going to give this movie an 8.5 juice boxes.
And I would have to agree. 8.5.
Yeah.
Very solid. Very excellent sequel.
Yeah, very
really good sequel.
I hope they don't make a third one. I really do. I want them to keep it. I would watch it, but I don't know.
I don't know if it could be better than this, but I guess we'll find out.
But
all right, everybody, we're going to be back in a couple minutes for our last segment, our throwback, Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. Stick around.
Most party fouls are pretty dumb. But if you decide to drink and drive underage, you could lose your license and your freedom. Underage drinking and driving, the ultimate party foul.
You've messed up your son's haircut. Do you try to fix it? Work with what you've got? Or show solidarity?
Thank you, babe. You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
This year, patriotism shouldn't just be about pride of country. It should be about love. Remember that to love America is to love all Americans, because love has no labels.
Había un niño que era muy sensible a luces y sonidos. Construía escondites donde no podían entrar. No le gustaba mirar a la gente a los ojos. Lo hacía sentir incómodo. Un día se descubrió que tenía autismo. Con ayuda, poco a poco, aprendió a vivir mejor con ello.
Mientras más pronto se diagnostique, mejor. Conoce las señales en autismspeaks.org.
Your son wants to get a cat, but you're allergic. Do you A, prepare yourself, B, make the best of it,
C squared equals
25.
Good job.
or C, find a loophole? When it comes to parenting, there are no perfect answers, but that's okay, because you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Teens in foster care will love you just the same.
We cannot be bystanders.
We can stop to make sure someone is okay.
We can warn someone when their drink isn't safe.
And disrupt the situation. We can.
Get someone a cab.
Or walk them home safely.
We can make campuses safer for our friends.
Our roommates.
Our classmates, our fellow human beings.
We cannot be bystanders.
We can. Intervene.
It's on us. All of us.
Learn how and take the pledge at itsonus.org.
Yeah.
Hey everybody, welcome back.
Welcome back to Film Juice.
Yep, here we are. I'm Andrew Canada.
And I'm Joe Dorado.
What's the next one?
Oh, our throwback of the week is Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid.
Yep, 1969.
Yes. And this movie follows two robbers in a Western time period. Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, and basically it's a very buddy cop kind of relationship, and they are robbing all these trains, and they end up getting found out by this group of lawmen, and they're on the run, and they have to try and find a way to escape the law and still make a living. And that's like that's what this whole movie is basically about.
Yeah.
This movie, to start off, I just wanted to say, I thought one thing I really liked about this movie is it really showed a great struggle with these characters trying to live a life of normalcy. I thought that was very interesting.
Yeah.
I liked that because
they do a good job of showing both their, I guess, work,
yes,
and then their other side,
yes,
to their lives.
Because
the duality of their whole living experience.
Because they have to, the times are changing in the West at the time of this movie, and outlaws are starting to like not be cowboys are starting to not be
like
a thing,
fade away,
and they're part of it. So they're trying to like figure out what they're going to do next, and that's like what this movie like tackles. And I thought it was really cool. I thought it was a really interesting premise. And
I really like this movie.
For a Western, it was very interesting.
Obviously, the two key characters played by Paul Newman and Robert Redford.
So well done.
Two actors who are, I mean, almost historically paired together, and they play off of each other so well. I mean, just especially in this movie. I mean, it's almost like that pairing is exaggerated.
The charisma between these two characters.
And they're both two on their own are phenomenally charismatic.
They're so
but together,
well done.
It's just excellent to
see. They're really well done.
What I really appreciated, another thing, was I loved how in a lot of the interior shots, it was so dark.
Yeah.
Which really held with the time period, of course. You know, it was either daylight or a couple lanterns, and that's all you had.
It was cool.
It just made it look more authentic, and I feel like that helped connect us to the plight of these two characters a little more.
I feel like they had a lot of natural lighting, which I thought was cool.
Yeah.
It was really cool.
Exactly.
The one issue I had with this movie, and it was made in 1969, so it's not the biggest of deals, but the sound in this movie was a little funky.
What do you mean?
So two things with the sound. Firstly, this is a personal preference, but there is not much music in the movie at all. Like
there's no soundtrack until like 25 minutes in.
Yeah.
And then it becomes very abrupt and jarring.
Yes.
Almost for that sequence.
And then it goes away again.
Yeah.
So it was very weird.
And then it comes back at another point a little later, right?
Yes, and it's
there are two sequences that feel very out of place for this movie. I can't imagine why director George Roy Hill would put those in there.
Yeah.
I almost feel like we have to be missing something.
I don't know.
I can't imagine what it would be.
It doesn't seem like it
so
really...
I mean, whether we're understanding it or we're missing something, I think it does take away from
it
that
didn't
movie
seem
at those
like
points.
It seemed like the only purpose of it was to show the passage of time, but I think it was a very poor way to do that.
The one sequence that I like is the one on the bicycle.
Oh, that one doesn't bother me that much.
Yeah.
It's the one that's not even...
there's a lot of symbolism in that sequence.
That one does not bother me that much. The one that bothers me is the one later where they're out and about living their life, but the whole purpose of that montage is just to show the passage of time, and it does it very poorly in my opinion. It's just like it lasts way too long. It lasts like 5 to 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And it's just like, why? It's what a montage shouldn't be. I was waiting for it to end. I didn't think it needed to be there. It didn't fit it tonally. It was weird.
Yeah, it was strange. Maybe it was just a sign of the times. I know.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, obviously, Midnight Cowboy came out the same year, and that's a very unconventional movie, and a lot of unconventional movies. So I really don't know. But I do think that ultimately those took away. They didn't really go with the theme of the rest of the movie. Maybe that was on purpose, but still, as a viewer, I think that did take something away.
And then the only other thing with sound is the voice clips, and I think this is more of a thing with the times than the montages. The voice clips and with the dubbing was very noticeable and very the clipping with them was very bad.
Yeah.
It was very noticeable when they would be overdubbing certain characters, and it was very noticeable when they were talking in the same room. It was very strange. It was made in 1969. I mean, I can't really fault it too much for it. It was just something I noticed. And it was a little jarring, but it wasn't that big of a deal. But yeah, I don't know. I still love this movie. I thought it was great. It was well shot. I thought the shots in this movie were really awesome.
Composition.
I really liked it.
Conrad Hall did this. He's like, you know him? Yeah. Was the director of photography.
Yes.
Really, really talented guy.
It was really well done. I really liked that aspect of it. The story went a different direction than I thought it was going to go when I went into it. I think the pacing gets a little slow in the second act, and I think that's partly due to the sequences we talked about. But I think it was very interesting way to approach it. I thought, when I went into this movie, I thought it was going to be, and this is my fault for thinking this, I thought it was going to be an Indiana Jones type movie.
Right.
And that kind of action is there in the beginning when they are robbing stuff, and it is very funny and charismatic and fun.
Sure.
But you lose that in the you don't lose the fun, you lose that like
Indiana Jones.
Yes. You lose that in the second.
Which I mean, like you said, like that was just because you went in there. Obviously, that's not what they were trying to do.
Yeah, I just didn't expect it.
Right.
So I thought that was interesting.
All this being said, what would you rate it?
I would have to give this movie 8 juice boxes out of 10. I thought it was really good. I just think it had flaws. It was really enjoyable. It is a great ending. I love the ending of this movie.
Excellent ending.
It's
one of my favorite endings of any movie.
It's really well done, and it's really it pays off really well. That's all I really want to say.
Yeah, I agree.
And
I'd have to give it 9 myself because I really enjoyed this movie.
Yeah.
And I definitely think that the good things outweigh the poorer things. That
Oh,
this
for
movie
sure.
does, no doubt about it.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, everybody, that's it for our show this week. Next week, we're going to be back. It's going to be our last show of the year.
Really? Yeah, that's right.
Yep.
Oh my God.
So
wow.
definitely tune in for that. We'll be right here at 9 o'clock on WNYF. You don't want to miss it, and we will see you next time at the movies. Thanks for watching.